Imagine that, I get up at 7, 8, come to work at 9. Great living. Look beyond the sailboats, beyond the red building, you see the roof line of a very long building. This is a building is 250 feet long. The original building was 1,050 feet long. A very short time before it's over the side. Now in this building they manufactured something very important to sailing vessels. If you look at the Joseph Conrad, you can see about 6 miles of this stuff on there. This was the rope wall. Now the original building was 1,050 feet long, but there was a fire and this much of it was sunk. This is the Plymouth Cordage Company. The Plymouth Cordage Company was established in 1824. This building was built in 1834. The man that built it learned his trade in New Orleans in the early 1800s, but he had a huge problem with how they made rope. He didn't like one thing. It wasn't materials, it wasn't the machinery, it was the labor. Who provided the labor in 1800 in New Orleans? Slave labor. Not a good thing. So he didn't like that, so he moved to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Outside Plymouth, he set up his factory. He had a mill pond that provided water power to turn the machinery. There were boat slips there in Plymouth. Boats brought in the raw materials and carried away the finished product. He turned the business into the largest rope manufacturer in the United States. Also, it helped that he had relatives who were sea captains, so he had a ready market. Okay, coming into view over here on the port side is an olive drab building. The ugliest color over there. It has a deck on top, another way to identify it. This is a life-saving station, and that deck was used by a lookout. Now, during the stormy time of year, these buildings would be manned. What they're looking for is ships running aground. Coming into port was very dangerous for sailing vessels. They didn't have a lot of navigation aids. They didn't have tom-toms and Garmins to guide them. And going from deep water to shallow water was quite dangerous. During the storm could blow them around, and the action of the waves could break the ship up and everybody would drown if it weren't for these life-saving stations. They would notify the men below, send out the surf boat. They would row out